Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video. So today's something a bit different, hopefully pretty short. We're going to look at how I sometimes am able to guess or predict what is going to be buffed or nerfed and what is going to be overpowered or kind of gutted, I guess, and sent to the dumpster. Like, this channel has become a lot recently about like overpowered stuff, strong stuff, tier lists, and the meta, I guess, and how it changes a lot, because obviously with League, like, changes more than pretty much any other game, I guess. Every 2 weeks we get a big new patch with new balance changes. But there's actually a way, a kind of a cheeky trick that I'm going to share with you that you can tell whether your favorite champion is going to get buffed or nerfed within the next few patches, most likely. So a lot of you guys have access to stuff like this, champion.gg, of course, Lowalytics, probably, in my opinion, a little bit of a better version. But this doesn't really tell you like the whole story. This is why we have little cheeky tricks that we can use to kind of predict the meta a bit more. So we're going to start on the PBE, and this, obviously, a lot of you guys have already seen. The new Zig skin actually looks really sick with some new effects. We have a new Malzahar one as well. His ultimate looks absolutely ridiculously cool, so everybody's going to buy the skin, of course. And then we have one for Brand as well. Not as popular, but the spell effects on him are really cool. This is a really popular skin line, the arcade ones. So we're actually probably going to see a shoot up in play rate for all of these guys, right? And the thing is with this, like, this is where it all started for me a few days ago, because I saw this change on the PB as well, which is to Brand. His E is actually getting a direct buff, making it a fair amount better. And this is like the typical kind of Riot way of doing things that you can use to predict the meta. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. So Riot is like a business, right? They've got to make money. That's how we play this game, for free, even though we spend loads of money on skins and stuff like that. Like, they are a company designed to make money. They have to pay people salaries. They have to make a profit and stuff. So there's no real surprise. There's no hatred for doing it, but it's a way that we can kind of look into the meta a bit more, if that makes sense. So if we go back to Pulse-Fi Caitlyn, this is a really good example of what I'm going to talk about. Basically, we're using skins to predict the balance meta of certain champions. So in 7.10, this is when Pulse-Fi Caitlyn actually came out. So the legendary skin, awesome skin, by the way, like really cool. And it was at her peak of play. This is in Platinum Plus, of course, but it's pretty similar to every other bracket of play as well. Almost 40% of games, no real surprise, new skin, want to play her, she's very strong. And then 4 patches later, she gets absolutely gutted and sent to the dumpster. That jump, well, I guess jump down in win rate is actually really high. You don't normally see that. And now she's pretty much not as good anymore. So we have a long period of time where Caitlyn's very strong, and then the new skin comes out, and then 4 patches later, 3 patches later, she gets sent to the dumpster. So we can see this with a lot of other champions as well. But looking forward, rather than do like a history lesson, because I've kind of talked about it a little bit before, Omega Squad Tristana's just come out this patch, and so has the Twitch skin. Both these skins look actually really sick. Like, you can see them in game. They have really, really cool effects for both of the champions. So when a champion has new spell effects and they actually look really, really cool, chances are people are going to buy them. The play rate is going to spike up this patch, most likely. And obviously for Tristana, the last couple of patches, she got indirect buffs, I think, actually, more than anything, really, like with the items and stuff. But she became a lot more popular. As you can see, the play rate has jumped pretty high. And also Twitch has been pretty much the best win rate, 80 carry, for a very long time. Like, he's been so good for ages. And both of them now have new skins. So you kind of like see the pattern here, and this is how you can kind of predict it. So for Twitch, for example, we were kind of waiting. Well, I was waiting for this because in a few patches now, he's most likely going to get nerfed, and he is going to be pretty much a lot worse, I would say. 2 to 3 patches is probably my expectation. But then we have Tristana, I reckon maybe 2 or 3 patches as well. She's going to get a nerf and brought down a little bit after, obviously, the spike up with the skin. Now, it's obviously not for every one of these, because if we look back at the Tristana, sorry, the Ziggs, the Malzahar, and the Brand ones, Brand is not that popular. So it's not every champion in the skin set normally, even though he is getting a direct buff. It's just one of those things where at least a couple or one of them, when they have a really good skin and they're already really good at the moment, like really high win rate and stuff, you should expect a nerf in a few patches. Or I guess if a skin has been announced, then you should expect the champions to be a bit better when it's released. If it's a big skin, like Ziggs, for example, kind of flying under the radar, but actually very strong. It's kind of like you see, he's actually got a really high win rate in the 1 to 50 bracket played, but it actually jumps up massively after that. Goes down after a bit, 200 obviously, but this is a really high win rate for mid lane. It's actually pretty good at every single tier. And last patch, he got a buff to his Satchel Charge, which wasn't really necessary in my opinion. And the thing you have to remember is this will actually indirectly lead to a lot more wins, because he has a 12-second cooldown on his tower nuke, right? So he can kind of late game batter down towers a little bit and then just nuke them down every 12 seconds, which is obviously lower with some cooldown reduction as well. With Malzahar, like this patch in 7.10, he got a massive buff. Actually, sorry, it was 7.11 that he got the massive buff, and he jumped up after that to pretty much the best win rate mid laner out of anything because of his ultimate, like the damage they put onto it, and just how you have to press R now, you win the game, right? So this, he got a buff like 4 patches ago, and now he suddenly gets a skin. Probably the same thing as Twitch and Tristana, where in 3 to 4 patches, he probably gets nerfed again, I guess. Though actually, we're trying to get into preseason at that point anyway. But then obviously, Brand has been kind of going down reverse. So he gets a buff, he gets a new skin, and all of a sudden, he's probably going to be played a little bit more. So I just kind of wanted to, I guess, talk a bit about how we can predict the meta with skins. It's something that is not really talked about very much. There's no, like, shame for Riot in doing it, I don't think, because they have to make money, and it's just a very clever way of doing it, which doesn't really screw up the game massively. Like, they don't leave stuff broken, but they definitely leave things very strong. Then a new skin comes out, and then a little bit later, they nerf the champion afterwards. So just as like a forewarning, I guess, for anybody who plays Tristana, Twitch, Ziggs, and Malzahar, they are most likely going to get nerfed in 2 to 3 patches, maybe 4 patches time, because they have got new skins come out, and they have been ridiculously strong for quite a long time now. So yeah, I guess hopefully you found this interesting. Something that I find kind of cool, but isn't really talked about very much. It's just a very quick video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of this whole thing in the comments, I guess, or any others that you've spotted. And yeah, I'll catch you in tomorrow's video.